students, I welcome all of you in the another session of transportation engineering. As we all know that we are learning the second segment, that is highway transportation. There are total 4 to 5 parts of highway transportation segment. We have discussed about the highway geometric design in detail, and now we are discussing the unit of traffic engineering. As I have already narrated that traffic engineering plays an important role if you want to get employed just after BTech in the transportation sector, then you need to have the proper knowledge about highway geometric design, certain elements of pavement design, and traffic engineering. Traffic engineering actually is the another part of transportation engineering, but in your syllabus the subject is covered already. We have discussed about certain road user characteristics, scope of traffic engineering in our last session, and in this session we will cover the criteria of vehicular characteristics. So stay focused toward this session. In this session, we are going to cover the topics which are related to vehicular characteristics and traffic surveys that we are going to cover. Now, we have discussed that there are two type of characteristics of traffic engineering. First is the road user characteristics, and second is the vehicular characteristics. Road user characteristics means us, means we are driving on the road, and we have certain characteristics such as perception time, intellection time, emotion time, volition time, reaction time, then certain environmental characteristics, mental characteristics, psychological characteristics, physical characteristics such as vision, hearing, reaction time, strength. So we have covered all those things. Now, as we move on the road, we are moving on the road with the help of vehicle. So we need to consider certain vehicular characteristics also, such as static characteristics and dynamic characteristics, to understand the concept of its effect on consideration of traffic. So the vehicular characteristics is divided majorly into two categories. First is the static characteristics and second is the dynamic characteristics. Now, why do we need to learn this vehicular characteristics? Because this vehicular characteristics affects the highway geometric design dimension standards and the weight standard. And if this vehicular characteristics means static and dynamic characteristics are consistent, then we can have the better quality of roads, we can have lesser amount of traffic. You may have observed number of times in Ahmedabad that there are certain roads which are always occupied with full amount of traffic. No matter at what time you go on those roads, you will always experience traffic. So uh, what is the reason that this kind of things occur over the roads? So the reason is that the characteristics which are related to road user and vehicular are not properly maintained. So we are discussing about the vehicular characteristics, which is divided into two parts. First is the static characteristics, and second is the dynamic characteristics. The static characteristics have certain elements such as width of vehicle, length of vehicle, height of vehicle, and weight of vehicle. Now, what is the role of width of vehicle whenever we are discussing about the traffic engineering? What is the importance of width of vehicle? So let me tell you that the width of vehicle plays an important role to determine the road lane width. We have learned about single lane, two lane width, multiple lane width. You know all about that. That single lane width is of 3.5 meter without curves, 3.75 meter with curves. Then if it is multiple lane road or multi-lane road, then it will having 3.5 meters per lane. Then the width of vehicle also affect on the shoulder width. It will also affect on the parking width and road capacity. See, it is the common sense thing that if the width of vehicle is quite high, then it will occupy more space on the road, and the greater amount of space it will occupy on the road, lesser number of vehicles will be there on the road. So the width of vehicle should be under certain criteria, controllable criteria. This is the first thing. Now, second thing is about the length of vehicle. The length of vehicle affects the horizontal alignment, the vertical alignment, parking facility, and road capacity. Just like the width of vehicle, if the length of vehicle is quite high, then it will occupy more number of spaces or large amount of space on the road, and there will be less number of vehicles on the road. Now, the third criteria is about the height of vehicle. It affects the pavement design, its thickness and gradient. And it also affects the understructure clearance whenever we are designing the tunnel structure, underwater structure, under structure clearance, visibility criteria. The height of vehicle affect whenever you are crossing a toll naka or toll plaza. You might have seen the boards that only 5.5 meter height of vehicle is allowed, means more than that prescribed height vehicles will have to travel on another road. And the last is about the weight of the vehicle. If the vehicle is overloaded, it is having high weight, then it will affect more load on the pavement surface and the pavement design criteria will be affected. The thickness of pavement will be affected. The criteria, deterioration criteria will be affected. Means in order to have that proper knowledge, the width of vehicle, length of vehicle, height of vehicle and weight of vehicle need to be in proper control. So this is about the static characteristics. Why the name of static characteristics is kept? Because this criteria cannot be changed. Once you define the horizontal alignment, once you define the width of vehicle, once you define the length of the vehicle, once you define the height of vehicle, once you define the weight of the vehicle, then it will not be changed automatically, because they all are static characteristics. So this was about the static characteristic phenomenons of the vehicular characteristics, and we are discussing about the vehicular characteristics, which is divided into two parts: static characteristics and dynamic characteristics. Now let us move towards the another segment of static characteristics, that is the weight of the vehicle. Let us move towards that. Let us assume, let us what I can say, but let us consider a criteria that if you are driving on a car, then the car may have two front vehicles and two rear vehicles. So the distance between two vehicles, front or rear, is known as axle. So the L is the distance between extreme axles in meter. When the L is less than 2.44 meter, if the axle distance is less than 2.44 meter, the gross weight of vehicle should not exceed 14515 kg. As per Indian Road Congress, no axle load should exceed 10,000 kg. So you have to keep in your mind that whenever a highway is designing, a highway designing process is in process, or whenever a vehicle designing process is in progress, then you need to consider this equation value. So this is about the weight of the vehicle. Now, these are certain criteria as per IRC norm that we need to have proper knowledge about. That the width of all vehicles maximum dimension should not be more than 2.5 meters. If the single deck vehicle for normal application is there, then the height should not be 3.80 meters. For double deck, it is 4.75 meters. And the length criteria are also given that the single unit truck with two or more axles, 11 meter. Then with two or more axles for bus, it is 12 meter, 16 meter, 18 meter. You do not need to mug up this table. You do not need to memorize this table. This is just for the reference, because whenever you will be enrolling in the professional world, in the corporate world, you will have the task to design the road, to design the vehicle of the width of vehicles, certain kind of things. At those times, you need to have the proper knowledge of this kind of IRC norms. Now let us discuss about the dynamic characteristics. Dynamic means criteria which are variable, which are not static. Static means fixed criteria, dynamic means variable criteria. So, which are those dynamic criteria which are related with the vehicular characteristics? So, it is speed, acceleration, braking system, and vehicle body design. Now, the speed and acceleration includes the power of an engine and the resistance to overcome that particular power. Means majority out of speed, acceleration, braking system, and vehicle body design, the most important criteria are speed and acceleration, and this play an important role to define the power of an engine and to define the resistance to overcome the friction. They are important in all the geometric design elements. And this speed and acceleration criteria are related with the side distance, super elevation, length of transition curve, radius of horizontal curve, width of the pavement, and road gradient. Now you all are very aware with all these criteria, that what is side distance, what are the types of side distance, what is super elevation, what is length of transition curve, horizontal curve, width of pavement, what is road gradient. So you may assume, you may not only assume, you can actually what I can say, you can relate with these things, that speed and acceleration play an important role while defining the side distance, super elevation, length of curve, width of pavement, etc. Now There are certain kind of surveys that you need to learn. You have learned a subject that is called as surveying, but the surveys that I am going to propose, I am going to teach, are totally different from the subject that you have learned. So don't make any kind of assumptions regarding surveys. These are total new type of surveys that we are going to learn, and there is a shortcut key I have prepared to memorize to remember this thing. VSFOPAC. These are the total surveys that we need to learn in this topic, and once we learn all these surveys, then the traffic engineering segment will be completed. The first V stands for traffic volume studies. Second, S stands for speed studies. O stands for origin and destination studies. F stands for flow characteristic studies. P stands for parking studies. A stands for accident study, and C stands for traffic capacity study. VSF, OPAC, once again, volume, speed, origin and destination, flow characteristics, parking, accident, and traffic capacity. We will learn all these things, all this survey in our next session. I hope you have gone through all the segment, you understand the concept thoroughly. Thank you so much for being attentive. Thank you. Now, as I have already narrated that this is the shortcut key, keep one thing in your mind that whenever this kind of things can be asked in exam, you need to have the proper knowledge of all these surveys. You need to have the knowledge of what is traffic count, traffic volume count, what are the methods of traffic volume count, what is traffic speed study, what is origin and destination studies. Now, by looking this slide, it can be assumed that there are only seven kind of surveys, but if you go into detail, then you will find that these are the most interesting part of this particular, what I can say, segment. So stay attentive, stay focused, and as I have said that in the next session we will cover all the particular things. Okay, fine. So thank you for being attentive. Thank you.